Pac-Man fans. Okay, so I made this video because we got some Pac-Man related news from Namco yesterday. And so let's do a brief overview, okay? So let's flash back to 2002. So it's 2002. We still have the classic Pac-Man, you know, with the good eyes, the good mouth, good shoes, the good attitude, and he just came out with Pac-Man World 2, and I was just a kid then. This is one of the first games I ever played and beat. I know it's not one of the best games of all time, but it's one of my favorite games of all time. I'm aware that it was a Mario and Sonic clone, and yes, I'm aware the camera controls weren't the best. But, you know what? I really liked it, okay? The levels were very varietized. There were platforming levels, ice skating levels, even submarine levels. And, the levels were linear, but despite that, the game still managed to have lots of depth, and the controls were tight in terms of controlling the character, not the camera. It had great graphics in my opinion. The story plot added depth because, you know, it was a twist on the Pac-Man franchise, a villain from ancient times returning to fight Pac-Man. I found lots of reasons to come back to the game, most specifically to collect pennies to unlock arcade games. And the music was great in my opinion, and it had a great sense of platforming, and overall, it remains one of my favorite games of all time. I definitely know that it's not one of the best games of all time, but it's one of my favorites. So, let's flash forward to recent times. Okay, so Pac-Man has this blue-eyed redesign. He gets these, you know, more futuristic looking shoes that look like they belong to Astro Boy or something. And his mouth is all teethy, and you know, he has a personality change. He acts more childish. And let's face it, Pac-Man is not who he used to be. His games, you know, the quality of his games have dropped since Pac-Man Party. And Pac-Man Party was a shameless Mario Party clone. And then we got the wonky Sonic ripoff Pac-Man Tilt in Pac-Man and Galaga Dimensions. And then Pac-Man has been absent since 2011. Like, he was absent in 2012, but I mean, seriously, I know what Namco is capable of. Definitely much more than this. So, if you ever see this game in retailers, don't buy it. Let's face it. Compared to games like, say, Pac-Man World 2, original Pac-Man, Pac-Man CEDX, recent Pac-Man games haven't been that good. Pac-Man CEDX is pretty much the last good Pac-Man game. That's pretty sad. And think about it, that was the last game to use the classic design. Okay, and so we already know a Pac-Man cartoon is on the way. And we figured out that a Pac-Man game was in development last year when Namco, they put up a poll asking fans for the next Pac-Man game what design for Pac-Man they wanted to use. And get this, they had the classic design for Pac-Man up. The classic design. You can probably guess which one I voted for. Yep, that's right, the classic design. But guess what? Most Pac-Man fans voted for the modern design. It's just stupid. It's dumb. It's just freaking idiotic. And I mean, it's just plain. I mean, it's just plain stupid. I don't even know why fans voted for the modern design when everyone loves the classic design for Pac-Man so much. He looked much more cartoony, he looked much more appealing, his personality was better, and he was just overall the best design for Pac-Man. So, a Pac-Man game has been in development, and it's based off of the upcoming TV show. And, alright, and Namco released a trailer for it yesterday. And, you know what? Let's see that, shall we?
Product not yet rated.
Wow, what have you done to Pac-Man, Namco? Okay, seriously, I remember a time where Pac-Man was actually unique. I remember a time when Pac-Man games actually had quality. I remember a time when Pac-Man games didn't look so blatant and generic. What have you done to Pac-Man, Namco? I mean, seriously, this is not Pac-Man. This is not the Pac-Man that I grew up with. This is not the real Pac-Man. We know what you're capable of, Namco. I mean, seriously, Pac-Man the Ghostly Adventures, the video game. Wow! I mean, seriously, oh my wow, Namco. I mean, seriously, let's start off, okay? Okay, let's look at this. Okay, first of all, this game looks like an obvious Super Mario Galaxy 2 ripoff. You know why, you idiots? Well, let's just see then, shall we? It rips off of, the platforming aspect that you would expect from a Mario 64's or Super Mario Galaxy title. It rips off of that. It looks like a Mario clone attempt done by an indie developer. And Namco is no indie developer. And not to mention, the controls look wonky, they look uncontrollable, and this is not Namco's best, okay? The chomping, mechanics just look way off. They look as, floaty and wonky as Sonic 06, and not to mention the level design looks careless. It looks poorly designed. Looks like they put no thought into it. Oh, and guess what? They also try to rip off of Super Mario Galaxy 2 by making Pac-Man, fly through those tubes, similar to how Mario flies through space in Super Mario Galaxy and Super Mario Galaxy 2. What the heck, Namco? And that's not all. In fact, that's not even the worst part, okay? Let's see, shall we? Okay, so when Pac-Man, goes to save the ugly woman, with the ugly new design, okay, she gets trapped in goo by these ghosts. Obviously not a ripoff of the segment in Super Mario Galaxy 2 where you had to rescue Yoshi from a force field made by Kamek in Yoshi's Star Galaxy. Obviously not a ripoff of that. And seriously, what the heck, Namco? That's not all. Okay? And guess what? When he's fighting the ghost, guess what happens? He turns into a Yoshi ripoff. He turns into a Yoshi freaking ripoff! What the heck? Oh, wow, he uses his tongue to swallow ghosts. Obviously not a Yoshi ripoff. And he also, uses his tongue to swing on poles. Obviously not a ripoff of the segment in Super Mario Galaxy 2 when Yoshi has to use his freaking tongue to freaking swing on these freaking flowers. What the frick? This is freaking stupid. This makes me so mad. I mean, what the frick? So stupid. I mean, look at this compared to Pac-Man World 2. Yes, Pac-Man World 2 was a Mario / Sonic clone, but at least it was a clone done right. That game had tons of variety. It had, all the classic Pac-Man characters and classic Pac-Man games included. And, the levels were excellently designed, a great sense of platforming. Like, they had all these details. Each stage felt different. Each stage felt memorable. And not to mention, the character design looked great. And the game had tight controls if you don't count, the camera controls, and it had an engaging storyline, and it had memorable music, unlike this techno, this techno junk that we're getting in this game. And the trailer music, it just sounded like a pile of BO. I don't even care. You morons, you idiots! You idiots asked for this. If you viewers would have just voted for classic Pac-Man, I bet Namco would have given us Pac-Man World 4. Okay? Namco, it's not too late. You can cancel this game. Alright. You can. And you can make a Pac-Man World 4 that a Pac-Man World 2 style to Pac-Man World 4 that, has the classic Pac-Man. It has platforming in the style of Pac-Man World 2. It could have all these, creative aspects, unlike, Pac-Man the Ghostly Adventures video game with all these Super Mario Galaxy 2 rip-off aspects. And, okay, they can bring back the classic characters, and they can just bring back the overall charm of classic Pac-Man, bring back the overall charm of Pac-Man World 2. That's what they should do, that's what they can do. But guess what? Instead they're going to give us this, this shameless Super Mario Galaxy 2 ripoff, Pac-Man the Ghostly Adventures. Well, guess what? I don't even care, Namco. Okay? Pac-Man isn't what he used to be. His games are piles of garbage now. Look at Pac-Man Party. Okay, a shameless Mario Party clone. And I mean, it's not a bad game, but I know what Namco's capable of creativity-wise. I mean, how could they go from creating innovative games like Galaga, Pac-Man, and, Dig Dug, to creating games, mediocre games like Pac-Man Tilt and, Pac-Man Party. Is that what you're capable of? Is that what you're capable of, Namco? And, not to mention Pac-Man the Ghostly Adventures. Well, guess what? I don't give a frick about that game. I want a Pac-Man World 4 that's styled more like Pac-Man World 2. And, I want to be creative. I want it to have good sense of platforming, tight controls, not these wonky chomping physics. I want to have, detailed, varietized level design, like with all these different types of levels, each level having its own unique elements to make them all feel unique. I want to have great animations, great character design, bringing back, classic Pac-Man, and then, great replayability, great music, and cancel Pac-Man and the Ghostly Adventures. Cancel it. I don't even care about it. I mean, what the heck? I mean, this just makes me so mad. I mean, what the heck? And if the viewers would have just asked for classic Pac-Man, then we probably would have gotten a Pac-Man World 4. But no! Instead, we have to deal with this. So thanks a lot, you viewers, because you asked for it.